Yo, what's going on YouTube? This your boy Kamen Spike back again once again today, people. Today we're for Kamen GAVV episode 24, and in this episode we get our new form, which is like the ice cream form, which I don't know, design wise I like Cake King. I don't know, design wise I like this. I like it, but fighting and power wise I like Cake King better. I'm sorry, Cake King is just too freaking fresh, man. Cake King is it just look better to me, and it has its own signature sword. I'm sorry, but this form is dope. This form is absolutely dope. But in this episode, we see that Hunto is going on with his own little arc. Also, I like how this show kind of gives Hunto like his own little side stuff he's doing, like his own side arcs, his own side enemies and things like that. I just hit my mic, but like little side stuff that he has going on, and it's dope. It's really cool seeing that he's trying to defeat Granoots by himself and getting rid of some of these freaking part-timers on his own without the help of Shoma or Lakia. But yeah, in this episode we do see that Sachika is a really big help in this episode. She's very understanding, very nurturing, very helpful. You know, just peak friendship right here. And she does help Shoma with the whole she actually tries to fight in this episode, and she does help Shoma with the whole finding a way to beat Bitter Gav, or this version of Bitter Gav. But yeah, this one, he seems like he's like a bad playful kid. He's going around just doing stuff, just going around breaking stuff, and you know, Shoma's still going through that whole thing of like his body is just not vibing with him. His body is not, you know, giving him the strength that he needs, and he ends up failing in that chase sequence we saw in last episode, which finishes in this episode when he's like chasing down Bitter Gav and he can't get to him. And yeah, then we pan over to Uncle Dente. We pan over to Uncle Dente, and we see that Lakia is going back to Uncle Dente's little hideout, and he wants to take him out. And he basically says that if it weren't for you creating the dark treats, or basically like creating the dark treats, then my little brother would still be alive. And Dente was like, okay, well, I'm sorry. And he basically says like, hey, do what you got to do, man. Like, take me out if you got to. But at the same time, you know, Shoma gonna be pissed. And also, I left everything behind because I thought this would be my way of like somewhat of like atonement, because if I had stood up to my brother, then maybe a lot of this stuff wouldn't have happened, and our candy company would have been a place that would provided like happiness instead of all this misery. But yeah, just if you're gonna take me out, then take care of Shoma for me. And I love seeing this boy all grown up and stuff like that. It was like sweet. Right, and Lakia basically he changed his mind and he said, "Hey, you know what? You'll face your judgment another day. Like I ain't gonna take you out, man. I'll take you out another day." And it also just shows how Lakia is starting to like come around and be more merciful, because at first, you know, your boy was just like, I'm taking anybody out. I don't care who they are. But yeah, we pan back over to Hunto, who is talking with his friend, air quotes friend, called I don't even care about this dude. He's a scumbag. But yeah, it seems like he leads Hunto to like this warehouse, or like this like abandoned building looking kind of place, and he tells him that, hey, there's a monster lurking in there. And he says like, how did you know he's lurking in here? Well, I used to work here. I was just returning my uniform. And it was like, oh, okay. Well, you get out of here. He's basically like, hey, you get out of here, and you know, just in case anything gets dangerous or whatever. He's like, all right, cool. And Hunto goes in, you know, getting ready to hit shit up. He's on guard, stuff like that. And then he sees like this little like tube thing, and he gets shot with ink, and it's like this black ink that's like all over him. He's like stuck on the ground. He can't move and hit shit or anything. And turns out the fat dude was a Granoot, the dude that they met at the restaurant, the waiter dude that was at the restaurant. Turns out he is a Granoot. He's a part-timer, and he paid off Hanto's friend to, you know, get him somewhere where I can, like, you know, take him out and stuff. And turns out by the time dude walks away, he ends up capturing him. Yeah, he ends up capturing him, and now Hanto has to, you know, try and save him, you know, and so he doesn't get turned into spice. And we see his true form. He's like an octopus, and he wants to take out Hanto because he's the one that took out. Yeah, remember when Hanto first became, like, when he first changed for his first time, that Grenouille that he defeated, the yellow, I forgot, he was like yellow, he was spongy, I think he was like a sea sponge or something like that. That Grenouille was the friend of this Grenouille, so they were friends, and he wants to get revenge for his friend. And it seems like this guy is like an octopus or a squid or something like that. And yeah, so he spends like the whole night kind of like torturing Hanto, beating the crap out of him, stomping him out, stuff like that, so he can't move or anything. We see that Shoma is passed out. He's passed out from the other day from fighting Bitter GAVV, and Bitter GAVV is out just doing stuff, just being this bad little kid, doing stuff like breaking stuff, hurting people, and things like that. And we see that Sachika kind of nurses Shoma back to health. And when he gets up, he sees that, you know, his Gochizo, they go off to find help for Shoma, because Shoma goes off to fight Bitter GAVV, even though he's in like this super weakened state. And we see that the ice cream gummy even goes to find Lakia. He goes to find Lakia, and they also try and find Hanto, but a lot of his Gojizo get stuck in the ink and they can't move, just like him. So that's why Hanto doesn't see this new form and isn't there to help him out and things like that. And also we find out that Sachika also kind of put two and two together and figured out that Hanto is also Valen. He's like, did Shoma tell you? He's like, no. She's like, no. I just kind of put it together, like it makes sense if you're also the other Kamen Rider. And he was like, cool. But he said, hey, tell Shoma to come down here. And like, he basically tells Shoma to come down here because Bitter GAVV was doing stuff, but he couldn't do it. He couldn't help out because he was off chasing another Grenouille. So yeah, we see that while Shoma is trying to fight Bitter GAVV, he's really very weak. He's, you know, sick. He can't move and things like that. And that's when he's getting his butt kicked. And that's when we see the other Gochizo go off and go get Lakia, and also go and try to get Hanto. But like I said before, they couldn't because they're stuck in the ink. But yeah, that's when Hanto, bro, gets up. And yeah, bro gets up, and thanks to the dark chocolate Gochizo given to him by Mr. Suga, he has like this like big burst of power where he's in his base form, but it's like, it's not his base form. It's like it has like these black markings around it, like around the arm and around the eyes. And so for some reason in this form, he's like really strong. He's like two times his strength. But yeah, so while Hanto's handling him, we see that Shoma is struggling with Bitter GAVV, and then that's when Lakia comes in, and he basically tells him, hey, ask for help when you need it, dumb nut. So he's fighting Bitter GAVV, but for some reason this Bitter GAVV is like stronger than the last one. So Lakia is kind of having his own hard time, and that's when Sachika sees that Shoma is struggling too. He can barely stand up. So she sees like this like ice cream truck. She runs over there, makes some ice cream, and gives it to him. And when he eats it, he gives him like a whole like little burst of energy, and he also gets a new Gojizo. It's pretty big too. It's a big Gojizo. It's like as big as an actual ice cream cone. And he ends up using this Gojizo and transforms into the ice cream form. And when he transforms into it, all his ailments and everything kind of goes away. He has the power of ice. He can breathe ice and everything like that. And it was a pretty dope form. But yeah, we see that Shoma is able to defeat him. He's able to defeat Bitter GAVV, another Bitter GAVV down, and most likely next episode we're going to see another Bitter GAVV. And also Hanto is able to defeat this squid, Grenouille, and he feels pretty good about himself about it. He feels pretty good about himself. He's actually able to defeat him by himself without needing the help of Shoma, his words. And we go back to Lakia with Sachika and Shoma, and you know, Sachika is basically taking a liking to Lakia. She even gives him a nickname and stuff, and then Shoma's just like, hey, this is cool. I sure got a lot of good people looking out for me, huh? And then we go back to Hunto, who is like relishing on the fact that he ended up beating a Granute by himself, and he says, hey, I was able to defeat a Granute without Shoma's help, and he's feeling pretty good about it. And then we see the dark chocolate Gochizo. It has like a little sinister smile, and we see a very creepy face of Asuka in the background. So it's like, oh man, I really think that these Gochizo are gonna start to basically gonna start corrupting Hunto. They're gonna start corrupting Hunto, and he'll slowly get to like his own like evil kind of self. Not really evil, but like not like he's gonna go like this little path, like I don't need you type of thing. And hopefully we don't get a thing where he's like trying to take out Lakia and Shoma again. But yeah, also if you've seen the scans, if you've seen the leaks and stuff, this is the start of his path of him getting like his own sort of ultimate form, which I'm really looking forward to because it looks absolutely dope. And yeah, and also we need to hurry up and go ahead and get Suga taken care of, man. Or they need to go ahead and reveal the stuff that Suga's doing, because him with him doing all this stuff in the background, man, I don't like it. I never really felt like I was gonna like Suga anyway, but man, is this research dudes, man. Research dudes. Also, we didn't see anybody from Stomach in this episode either. It was just the main crew. And with Lakia and everybody, like, it was just the main crew just handling business. You know, it just feels like Suga is like the main, like, kind of forefront of the arc right now. And Bitter Gav. But yeah, man, this is dope. This was dope. I greatly enjoyed this episode. Love the choreography, the fighting, and all that stuff. Love the new form, and I can't wait to see what they got cooking up next, man, because next week's episode seems like it's gonna be a big doozy. But other than that, you guys let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think about this episode of Kamen Rider GAVV. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, as I always say, stay henshin.